What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. We have a video for you. It is Wednesday. It is May 22nd, and we are bringing you a breakdown of every single game on the slate. So, if you've clicked on this video, you have seen the length of said video. Okay? I'm going to put it out there. I had a comment the other day that said it was too long. Something, I can't even remember now. And mentioned in that video, in yesterday's video, this, if you've got TikTok brain, meaning you clicked on a video that's clearly X amount of minutes, expecting it to be 60-second video, you've come to the wrong spot. But anytime we see any of those kind of videos or any of those kind of comments in these videos, we're going to pin it. It's going to be the pin of shame. We're going to pin those comments. And if you get your comment pinned, that means it's the pin of shame here, and that's what we're going to do. But for anyone who's new to the channel, welcome. We do things differently. So we go through every game. We go through the pitchers and the batters. At the end of the video, we go through the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. So we're running 10,000 simulations right now, and we will go through those at the end of the video. We have giveaways every single day. You can win multiple days. You can win you can win on the same day. You can win back-to-back days. How do you do that? First off, you got to be a subscriber to the YouTube channel. You got to like this video and leave a comment. If this video gets at least 50 likes and you've left a comment, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you have a chance to win a $30 free month. And that's every sport that we currently offer, which is MLB, NASCAR, PGA, and MMA. If we get 150 or more likes on this video, you have a chance to win a $200 yearly pass. And if this video gets 200 or more likes, you have a chance to win a $500 lifetime pass. The second way to win, which also counts as your comment in the first way, there'll be a keyword somewhere in this video, somewhere embedded in this video. So be listening. There will be a keyword. I'm going to say it one time. Comment that down below, and you will be in there running for a free week as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the YouTube random comment picker twice. The first one is going to be ran for the video getting 88 likes yesterday. So someone's going to win a free week. Then we're going to randomize it until we get the keyword in the video, and you will see what I'm talking about. So we've had multiple people win. We've never had anyone win on the same day. And it's all random. So definitely hit the bell notification so you can get your comments in there as quickly as possible, because sometimes we have to film these videos a little bit earlier. So the more you get your comment in there, the better chance you have. So we're going to see who's going to win the free week starting right now. Maurice Hinkson, 8708, with the comment, good stuff. So Maurice, what I need you to do is like this video and then email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That is dfshelp1@gmail.com. And give me a username and email you would like on the website if you don't already have one. We'll get you set up, and we will get you your free week for everything right now. So we're going to pick another winner, and we're going to randomize it until we get the keyword. The keyword yesterday was coffee. So let's see who's going to be the winner of the free week for the keyword Cujo Blue. Congratulations, Cujo. You have won. I believe you have an account on the site, but just acknowledge that you have seen this comment here. So congratulations to both of you. Good luck to everyone else. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to listen for the keyword. Now, DraftKings did something a little bit new, and I think maybe yesterday, Tuesday was the first time, at least it's the first time I've seen it, but this is what Fanduel used to do. But it used to be free on Fanduel. So you can do any denomination, but this is $1, winner take all, home run picks. So if you're into sports betting, this is kind of best of both worlds. 3 players, whoever has the most home runs, I could see, like on the Tuesday, Bobby Witt Jr. had 2 home runs. If you could find the players that hit 2 or more home runs, and let's say you had 6 home runs, you probably took it down with the full details. $3,000. You could turn $1 into $3,000 or split it, which most likely will happen. But that's pretty awesome. If you guys want to, what I would love, in the description we have a Discord. Would love for you guys to get in there and discuss some of your home run picks for the day and why you picked them, whether or not it's stats, whether or not it's just other things. So would absolutely love to get some discourse in there, and that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to be playing that, and I'm going to be playing that every day. Hopefully they keep it in there. It's $1, or this one's at least $1 to, in turn, without splitting it 3,000 times your money, which would be amazing. So, very excited for that. But we are going to dig into every game. Weather is going to play a factor today. Looking at some of the ballpark factors, Great American Ballpark, San Diego, Cincinnati, it's humid. It's very, very humid. The ball's going to fly out of there. It's got a plus 42% for home runs, 18% for runs. Progressive Field, Mets versus Cleveland. Jose Ramirez yesterday had a home run. I absolutely loved him. I told you guys that. Plus 34 for home runs, plus 17 for doubles and triples, and plus 17 for runs scored. Citizens Bank Park, it is blowing directly out. The wind is blowing out. It's hot, it's humid, it's windy. 26% home run chance, 14% run chance. Nationals Park, Minnesota versus Washington. Minnesota stack absolutely killed it yesterday. 11% for home runs. PNC Park, 14% for home runs. Rogers Center, 16%. Yankee Stadium blowing out, 23%. Kauffman Stadium, 13% for doubles and triples. So there's going to be some runs being scored in these games, and we need to take advantage of it. Now, there are different ways to go about building lineups. Everyone knows you want to get those stud pitchers. You want to attack the weak teams. You want to attack pitchers against the Marlins. You want to attack pitchers against Oakland. Chicago White Sox. We know this. This should not be new to you. The other thing is you want to find those strikeout-prone teams, and you want to attack them as well. Now, the ones that, Oakland, White Sox, like those are the ones that you know about. But if you dig into the analytics a little bit, Boston strikes out at a pretty big clip. Baltimore, they strike out at a pretty big clip. The problem is those teams can put up a ton of runs as well. So you've got to look at all the other factors. Another factor I want to look at, and we've got it on the website. You can go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Under the MLB tab is the umpire factors. So if you look at umpire factors, you want to look at the home plate umpires that favor pitchers in matchups that favor the pitching and the pitching team as well. So you just kind of look. Like you can look at rates and averages. Whoever the home plate, now these are the home plate umpires, and you can look at the K boost, meaning who gives the biggest boost, where, and right here, K boost 1.01, 1.16 was James Hoyt. Like these are things you don't think about, but these are definitely where you can see this is a pitcher's boost, and then the rest are basically hitter boosts. So you want to look at those, you want to check them out, and we can definitely go about that. And that is another tool. It's a completely free tool on the website, updated daily, so you can check out who the home plate umpire is at any given game, and we can go from there. So we're looking at the early slate. The early slate consists of 5 games. We do have a little bit of weather concern for here in Cleveland, so that's definitely something to look at. But if we were to look here, let's break it down. Simeon Woods Richardson versus Jake Irvin. Really haven't seen each other at all. Dig into the numbers a little bit. Woods Richardson would be an option for me because obviously Washington's a very bad offensive team. They've been hitting a little bit, but he comes into subpar 3 ERA, 25 strikeouts, 1 point. The whip's up there. The whip's a little bit up there. Again, though, pitching on the road, it's got a 3.72 ERA. It's got 4 games pitched on the road compared to 2 at home, which completely understandable, and that's fine. I will have exposure to him, especially at 6,800. Then you got Jake Irvin against Minnesota. The way Minnesota's been hitting, Buxton had 2 home runs yesterday. You got to take advantage of Buxton while he's not hurt. We look at him, has not faced Minnesota this year, pitching at home. He's got a 5.75 ERA. Everything points towards take Minnesota again. I think it's going to be a very popular stack. I do not mind Woods Richardson. I do not mind Minnesota bats. Kepler, Byron Buxton, obviously. You got Carlos Santana, but the problem with Carlos Santana, and I don't know if it's because they were up so big that he was pinch hit for. So if it gets into that, he might get pinch hit for and a substitute on Defense if he's playing the field, not DHing. Those are things you need to look at. Carlos Correa is another one I would look at. I would look at Willie Castro, Manny Margot. Like, these are the bats I would look at for Minnesota. I want nothing to do with Jake Irving. I want nothing to do with the Nationals bats. Mets at the Guardians. This does scare me a little bit. I do wish this were in New York because it is a better pitcher's park, and it's just a more spacious pitcher's park. But I would go with Tristan McKenzie, and I would go with Cleveland bats again. Jose Ramirez has been on fire. Josh Naylor's been on fire. Those two I love. I love Bo Naylor. David Fry, if he's in there, I love me some David Fry. We look at these numbers. Quintana here, down at 5,300, has got a 5.21 ERA, has not faced Cleveland this year, hasn't really done much outside of a game. The game where he got 19.6 against St. Louis. Cleveland's just been hitting very well. I would not be surprised if they mash him. Yeah, I would be stacking Cleveland there. And then Tristan McKenzie, we look at this. 8,000, 3.23 ERA. Game logs, pretty good games here. Has not faced the Mets this year. I would be focused on Cleveland, and I would be focused on Cleveland bats. So Tristan McKenzie and Cleveland bats, and do not overthink it. Orioles at the Cardinals, you got John Means versus Kyle Gibson. Means, 13 plate appearances, really hasn't seen much. Kyle Gibson, 54 plate appearances, 283. So he's seen him a little bit. Not a ton, but this is one of his former teams. We look at this. James McCann, 6 for 29 against him. That's a 207. Ryan O'Hearn, 6 for 9 with 2 doubles, which boosts up to 667. Ramon Urias is 2 for 3 with a double, which is a 667 as well. So it's kind of skewed a little bit. I would still be looking at some sort of stack of Baltimore, depending on who comes out there. But again, Baltimore does strike out a ton, so Gibson's always in, a sneaky tournament pitch if you need a cheaper one, because he is 7,000. Kyle Gibson comes in 4.09 ERA, so it's kind of up there. Not really a good game against Boston, but he had some good games this year. I think Kyle Gibson could be a sneaky option. Just let's say he goes 6 innings, has 6 strikeouts, no earned runs, then the bullpen comes in and blows it, and Baltimore blows them out. Kyle Gibson's going to allow you to pay up. Those would be the bats there. I really don't want, at the moment, unless I look at the simulations at the end of this video, none of the Cardinals bats right now tickle my fancy. I'm not looking at those. Again, though, a lot can change between now and first pitch. So you've got weather concerns that could pop up. You've got injury reports that could pop up. The lineups could come out, and it could just be all things considered. John Means, for whatever reason, could be warming up and get hurt, and then it's a bullpen day, and then that opens up St. Louis bats. So that is why this video is not the only thing we have. And what I mean by that is we have so much more on the website. This is just a little sneak peek of everything. So we break down here pretty much the games. But if you want to break down simulations even more, you want to break down projections, batter splits, BVP, stolen base targets, our cheat sheet, prop bets, chalk plays, that is on the website. Go check it out. It's $10 a week, $30 a month, $200 a year. You can go check that out. If this video is all you need and you can build better lineups and that's it, that's awesome. That's what we're trying to do. It would be awesome if you guys do like this video. Helping the channel out helps out a ton just by clicking on. I know ads are annoying. I completely understand ads are annoying. It helps us out. And when I say us, I mean me. It's me. I'm the only one doing the website for 10 years now. It's a second job. I got a second baby on the way. If you can't donate or tip or sign up for FTA Plus, clicking the ads helps me out so much. I cannot even stress how much that helps me out, especially with all the bills coming. So that is what I do ask. But go check out, we got a lot, half of this stuff is free, so go check it out. On top of that, we killed it in MLB. We've had multiple huge winners. When NFL comes around, that's probably tied up there. NFL's so much better because there's a full week in between. Well, technically not, because we've got Monday games and Thursday games. Now we're going to have Friday games, Black Friday games, Saturday games, Sunday games. It's just every day of the week. But we love NFL. There's so much more to dig into. I'm gonna go hard for NFL this year. I kind of slacked in videos last year. I am gonna go hard with NFL videos this year. But back to MLB. This is just the top of the cake. If you want to see more, in the description of this video is today's article, where we break down which pitchers we like and about 5 plays at each position. If you need a little bit more boost, go check that out. So again, John Means, I'm okay with him in tournaments. I think both of these pitchers are tournament pitchers. I'd rather focus on Baltimore bats over St. Louis bats, but that's my thought process here. Then we got the Angels at the Astros. You got Tyler Anderson versus Hunter Brown. Anderson, 77 plate appearances, a 379 batting average. And you've seen him be in the same division. You've got Bregman's 4 for 9 with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. So all of his hits have been extra base hits, no strikeouts. You got Altuve 5 for 13 with a double and a home run. That's a 385 batting average. You've got Jordan 3 for 8 with a home run. Jordan has struggled this season though. Kyle Tucker 7 for 9, a double, 2 triples, and a home run. He smashes lefties. I would rather pay for Kyle Tucker than Jordan until Jordan figures it out, but he 778 batting average. Like, these guys know how to hit. They start off very slow. The Astros are kind of coming on. There's no way I'm looking at Tyler Anderson. I would stack. I'm not looking at Hunter Brown. I would look at a couple of the bats for the Angels against Hunter Brown. Because if you look at Hunter Brown, he's got a 7.71 ERA, has not faced the Angels this year, has one good game against Detroit. I'd be looking at Logan O'Hoppe. I would be looking at Taylor Ward, Joe Adell, Willie Calhoun. These are the bats that I would look at for the Angels, but I would mainly focus on the Astros bats. I'm not going to use either pitcher. I'm going to stack both sides of this game. I think it could be a high-scoring game. I think we could see more than 10 runs in this game. Tigers at the Royals. Honestly, this is a fantastic matchup pitching-wise. It's in a pitcher's park. I know Kansas City can hit. Bobby Witt Jr. absolutely dominated Casey Mize and the bullpen on Tuesday. I think both of these pitchers could go 5 to 6 innings and limit the damage, and that could be it. So I look at that, and I'm looking at probably both of these pitchers. I think Tariq Skubal is more of a tournament option. I think Cole Reagans is also more of a tournament option. I don't think either of these guys are cash options. Batting-wise, I feel more comfortable using Kansas City bats, so Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez against the lefty, Nelson Velasquez, Michael Garcia, these guys. But I will have exposure to both sides pitching-wise in this game. Padres at the Reds is next. Michael King versus Nick Martinez. Again, I'm really not looking at the pitching here because we looked at the ballpark factors, the wind blowing out, the hot humidity. In this ballpark is a massive hitting ballpark. I would focus myself on just the hitters. So we look at the hitters, obviously Tatis, Manny Machado, those are the 2 big ones. Cronenworth, Profar, Jackson Merrill. You want to go a little bit lower, you could go Ha-Seong Kim, you could go Donovan Solano, Luis Ariz would be another one. You could even see Tyler Wade, but he really isn't starting games. He's only coming in pitch hitting or pinch running and 1 at bat. So if Tyler Wade starts, he would be a fantastic, very low owned guy for a Padres stack. He would not be a one-off. Reds bats, obviously Ellie De La Cruz, Speedster. You got Tyler Stevenson, Will Benson, a little bit of Jonathan India or Nick Martini, but you could also throw in Mike Ford for tournaments, just depending on if he's even in there. Jacob Hurtubise. I don't know how you say his name. I think he made his debut on Tuesday. We had him in one of our lineups. He was part of a Cincinnati stack. So coming in, very low-priced guys. I cannot trust with the weather. These pitchers could have amazing games, but I would rather focus on the bats in this one. Then you got the Giants at the Pirates. You got Blake Snell versus Jared Jones. Jared Jones has absolutely been killing it this year. Absolutely been killing it. The weather is a factor, though. That's what I'm scared about. Jared Jones, 9,600. He's got a 2.89 ERA, 3-4 record. Faced San Francisco once this year, 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs. Ended up losing that game. Had 3 strikeouts in that one. I would use him, but you got Blake Snell coming off the IL. He's got 11.57 ERA, has not pitched in over a month, has 3 starts under his belt. He's gotten lit up because he did not have a spring training. We know what happened. Gave up 5 earned runs in his last start. He's given up 12 earned runs in his last 2 starts. Now he's pitching against Pittsburgh. And he's had success against them. 68 plate appearances, .075 whip, or .075 average. I am still taking the bats in this one. So the Pittsburgh bats that I would look at would be O'Neal Cruz, who had the 2 hardest hits in the MLB yesterday. Been hitting the crap out of the ball. Blake Snell, we know he's a stud when he's on. He has not proved. I mean, he's got almost a 12 ERA. So I would be looking at stacking the Pirates here. McCutchen leading off, O'Neal Cruz. I would look at Michael Taylor, usually hits lefties well. Same with Connor Joe. So I love me a Pittsburgh stack against Blake Snell. And then San Francisco bats here against Jared Jones. If you want to go that way, I'm probably not. You could look at Lamont Wade Jr. You could look at Chapman. You could look at Soler, Wilmer Flores, Tyro Estrada, Ryan McKenna. But I'm not. I'm not going to be focused on San Francisco. I'd be focused on Pittsburgh bats against Blake Snell here. Rangers at the Phillies. Rangers to be announced versus Taijuan Walker. Trying to see if it's showing anybody now. Did I miss it? Might be Andrew Heaney. They don't know. He last pitched on Friday, which would make sense. This would be his start here, but he only went 3.2 innings there, so it's definitely something to look at. I would be looking at Philly bats. If it is Andrew Heaney, I'm looking at Philly bats. I'm actually looking at bats on both sides. I don't want anything to do with the pitching in this game, regardless. I'm looking at bats on Texas and Philly. Texas bats, Adolis Garcia. Corey Seager had a massive home run on Tuesday. I would look at him. Jonah Heim, I love here. You could look a little bit of Ezekiel Duran. You could look at Nate Lowe as well. Philly bats here, if it is Andrew Heaney, even if it isn't, I would look at Brandon Marsh. I would look at Alec Boehm. I would look at JT Realmuto against lefties. Obviously, Bryce Harper makes sense. Bryson Stott makes sense. I'm a big Philly stack guy if it is Andrew Heaney. So we kind of got to wait on that. But if it is Andrew Heaney, 100%, Philly might be one of my favorite stacks today. Brewers at the Marlins. I want Freddie Peralta. I don't want Luzardo. I guess you could throw Luzardo in tournaments. I don't want him in cash. I would rather take Freddie Peralta and Milwaukee bats. William Contreras, Gary Sanchez, Willy Adames. Those are my 3 main ones. If I'm making a Brewer stack, I'm not 100% sure if I am. It'd be those 3 guys. Then it would be some sort of combination of Andrew Monasterio if he's in there. Jackson Churio, like these would be the ones I'd look at. I don't want any Marlins bats. Again, Luzardo for tournaments, the Jesus Lizard, I'm okay with, but I'd rather focus on Milwaukee bats and Freddie Peralta as my pitcher. Then we got the Red Sox at the Rays. You got Brian Bayo versus Ryan Pepio. Bayo making his second start after the IL stint, and Pepio coming off the IL. That kind of scares me a little bit, the way Boston's been hitting. A little bit weary on that, but we can look at Bayo at 8,000. Game log wise, he really hasn't done anything since coming back. That's the problem. 4.3 against St. Louis, 9.7 against Washington. He's only gone 5 innings max. Gave up 5 earned runs against St. Louis. Yeah, I'm off of Bayo. I don't love Tampa Bay bats, but they have a chance here you could look at. And then Pepio, last pitch, 2 weeks ago? May 5th. 1.5 fantasy points, went 2 innings there. Boston's been hitting. I know this is in Tampa Bay now, but, I mean, I'm probably not using Pepio because he's coming off the IL, but Devers has been absolutely on fire the last week. Tyler O'Neill, Jarren Duran, those are ones I would look at. Tampa Bay, if you think Bayo's not going to have a good game, Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lau. You could look at Richie Palacios. You could look at Jose Siri. Isak Paredes. You could look at these guys. I'm for sure I'm not going to have exposure to either of these pitchers, though. I'll tell you that. We got the Mariners at the Yankees. The Mariners have been keeping the Yankees in check this series. Bryce Miller, 13 plate appearances, 417. Hasn't really seen much. Nestor Cortez, 48 plate appearances, 220 batting average. Like we've talked about, Nestor Cortez's splits at home way better than on the road. When Nestor's on at home, he is on. So we look at Nestor. He's 9,300. His price is up there. His splits, home games, 127 ERA. Away games, 675. Home, 2 home runs, 34 strikeouts, 2 walks. Away games, 5 home runs, 23 strikeouts, 10 walks. For whatever reason, he does well at home. Honestly, looking at this, I could feel the Yankees getting swept in this series. As I'm the making of this video, they are down 4 right now. I just have a feeling it could be one of those. I just have a feeling it's one of those games where Nestor Cortez on paper has a fantastic matchup. The Mariners are just hitting in this series right now. Cortez for tournaments, I'm okay with. The Yankees batters, anyone really goes for them. But it pains me to say it. I could see the Mariners being a sneaky stack today against Cortez. Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Sebi Zavala, if he's in there. I don't know if he will be, but he would be a cheap option. Mitch Haniger against a lefty. Ty France against a lefty. Luke Raley against a lefty. Mitch Garver at DH. I don't want to say it, but I will probably have a little bit of the Mariners as a stack as well. Would love to see Nestor Cortez shove here and continue at home and stop this little mini not scoring run streak for the Yankees, or not scoring enough. I can see it going both ways. I will have exposure to a little bit of Bryce Miller just because the Yankees can strike out, and a little bit of Nestor Cortez, but I'm kind of feeling a Mariners stack here, and I hope I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I'm feeling. You got the White Sox at the Blue Jays. You got Mike Clevinger versus Chris Bassett. Clev, 67 plate appearances, 300 batting average, not good. Chris Bassett, here's my problem. So we look at Clevinger. He's 5,500, coming off a bad start, or an okay, middle of the road start against the Yankees. Only went 4.2 innings there. He has not, this will be his 4th start of the year, has not qualified for a win yet, has 5 Ks in back-to-back games. Still a little bit scared of using him. Probably looking at Toronto bats. And then you got Bassett. Bassett's got a 5 ERA, game logs, good against Philly, not against Tampa Bay. It's just, he was good against the Yankees, good against the Mariners, but all of those good ones, he's got some real bad stinkers in there as well. Now, the White Sox are a terrible team, a great team to take a pitcher against. Bassett for tournaments at 7,200, I will take that. Toronto bats is where I'd keep my main focus on. Those would be Vladdy, Davis Schneider. In this one, Dan Vogelback could be a tournament option. Dalton Varsho, a lefty there. George Springer is one I'd look at. Alejandro Kirk could be a cheap catching option if Danny Jansen is not in there. And that's kind of my thought in this game. I will have Bassett in tournaments. I will have Toronto bats. I won't have Clev, and I will not have Chicago bats. Then we got the Braves at the Cubs coming up. We've got Max Fried versus Justin Steele, battle of the lefties. Fried, 62 plate appearances, 283. Steele, 63 plate appearances, 291. I'm probably on the bats on both sides. I don't want pitching in this one. None of the pitching, that doesn't, like, the pitching today is not like amazing, but I'd rather take the bats. Marcell Ozuna is going yard. I'm just calling it now. Marcell Ozuna is probably going deep today. Acuna, Austin Riley against the lefty. Travis d'Arnaud is Babe Ruth against lefty pitching. Michael Harris had a home run yesterday. Ozzy Albies is there. Adam Duvall, if he is in there, he would be a cheap option in the outfield against a lefty pitcher in Justin Steele. And then bats against Max Fried, I'm going Dansby Swanson. against his former team and teammate. I'm going Seiya Suzuki. I'm going Chris Morel, who absolutely kills it. Jan Gomes might be in there. He would be a cheap catching option for today. Might be him. Might be a Miguel Amaya. I love a stack on both sides. I will not have either Steele nor Fried. I will have some sort of combination. Some of my stacks will be Braves or Cubs on this slate. Now, the keyword of the day is mouse. The keyword of the day is mouse. So put that in as your comment. Now we've got the Rockies at the Athletics. You've got Austin Gomber versus Joey Estes. Austin Gomber here. He is actually, we used him his last start. We looked at the numbers a little bit, and this is what's funny. We used him his last start because we looked at his numbers and he had success. And if you watch that video, I mean, everything before that was like, take him, stack against him, and that's how you started the season off with against Arizona. Gave up 4 earned runs. It was Kyle Freeland that we did as well, but he shoved 6 innings against the Padres, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 25.1. Now he's got a great matchup here against Oakland, has not faced them this year, and has only faced 10 plate appearances, given up 1 hit in that game, 3 strikeouts, and it's a pitcher's park. I would take Austin Gomber. His price being $6,800. I'm surprised it's not over $7,000. I'm taking advantage of that. I want Austin Gomber here. And then you got Joey Estes somewhere. They have Spence here, but it should be Joey Estes, or it could be Mitch Spence. He did okay, went 4.2 innings against Kansas City, 12.9 fantasy points, 4 strikeouts. If it's either Spence or Estes, I don't mind them for tournaments. I really don't want the bats in this one. Gomber's my number 1 in this game, and then it's either Spence or Estes is the way I would go. And then you got the Diamondbacks at the Dodgers. You got Ryan Nelson versus Tyler Glasnow. Give me the Glasnow. Give me that glass cow. Give me that spotted cow. 62 plate appearances, 27.4 K percentage, 196 batting average. Expensive. It's $10,600. Game got a 2.90 ERA. His game 15.1 against his game or his last start. Against Cincy, against San Diego, 7 innings, 32 fantasy points, 32.2, 30.5, 37.8. Like, he's had great games. 46 against Minnesota. Splits-wise, he has not faced Arizona this year. Career-wise, 62 plate appearances, 196 are great numbers. He's very expensive, late-night hammer, but that's what I would take. Ryan Nelson for tournaments, because he's had success against them in the past, I'm okay with. But the Dodgers, we know every single one in that lineup can hit. I think Glasnow is your cash option. I think Ryan Nelson is your tournament option. And we will see if any of the bats show up in these 10,000 simulations. So, that being said, that is the breakdown of all of the pitchers, all of the bats in the slate that we feel comfortable with. Now we're going to look at the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. Number 1 is Elly De La Cruz versus... number 1... Hold on a second. There we go. Number 1 is Elly De La Cruz. Number 2 is Francisco Lindor. 3 is Aaron Judge. 4 is Tatis. 5 is Jose Ramirez. 6 is Brandon Nimmo. 7, Will Benson. 8, Josh Naylor. 9, Shohei. 10, CJ Abrams. 11, Ozuna. 12, Tyler Freeman. 13, Kyle Tucker. 14, Dylan Moore. 15, JD Martinez. 16, Andres Jimenez. 17, Jurickson Profar. 18, Jazz Chisholm. 19, Luis Ariz. And number 20 is Mookie Betts. Now, depending on when you watch this video, these can and probably have changed. So what we do is we do 10,000 simulations right now during the video, and then we do the finishing 10, so we do a total of 20,000 simulations, and we update that and put those on the sheet an hour or so before first pitch of the main slate. As long as the main slate is the most amount of games. If it's early games like a 1:05 start time or 12:05 or wherever you're at, Usually we only do 10,000 for the day. So if we put up 10,000 and there's not much change at all, we probably won't put up 20,000, but they will be on the website. So definitely go check that out. Stacks that I like today, we've already talked about. Philly, big Philly stacks here. Cincy, San Diego, because the ball should fly out of there easily. I do not mind that at all. And Atlanta and Chicago Cubs are other ones because the weather, the wind, everything, as of now, is pointing to stacking those games because there's going to be a high amount of runs scored. And we will see. Baseball is a funny sport, as sometimes you can guess it. Sometimes it's really hard to predict. So that's what I've got in this video. If you found it helpful, useful, hit that like button. Good luck on this slate. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.